I was finally free, and my possibilities were endless. Unfortunately, so was the world, so I had to get out of here quick. So I did the only thing I was good at, pulling out my gun and killing an innocent bystander. After murdering the driver in cold blood, I took his shitty little mobile, only to realize that I'm a chimp and I've never fucking driven a car before. That went as well as you could expect. I heard sirens in the distance. I think it was the police, or maybe the lab people, I didn't know, so I just had to leave quickly. Probably not connected to the guy I shot dead, but I decided to do the only rational thing and fuck off in my chimp pack, which is a jetpack for chimps. It was beautiful. The city, the lights, the sirens that chased me as I flew over the highway. It was honestly beautiful. I hadn't seen anything like this in the lab. And as I topped the hill, my eyes deceived me. Or I thought they did at least. It was a very real possibility, seeing as I was still under the effects of the psychotics and the drugs. But what I saw was beautiful. It was Los Santos. The jetpack, while a solution to my earlier problem, had now become one of its own. There was a beeping indicator light, which signaled to me that the jetpack was absolutely fucking trashed, so I had to land. I came in like an angel from the heavens. Although, knowing what I know now, I was the exact opposite. The lights were overwhelming and the storm was deafening, but I managed to find a nice little LZ on the side of the road to land on. I pulled out my newly acquired iPhone I had just bought at the Apple Store moments earlier, and I decided to call for a taxi. But not knowing what any sort of numeric symbols represented, I just found one on the side of the road. Inside was one of the most disgusting human beings I've ever met in my life. It took all the effort in my body not to rip the greasy paper mache-like hair off his head. But after I overcame that anger, we decided to just, get driving. So after not paying the taxi cab driver and running under a bridge, I decided this was a good time to service my crank, or as the cool kids call it, jerking my ween. Unfortunately, I didn't get to do so for very long because I saw something else that caught my attention. With the start of the train, so began the start of my schedule. Well, that is until I found another spot in the subway to nap for a couple hours. Whiskey River, take my mind. Don't let her memory torture me. I awoke from the subway to the dawn of a new day, and what historians would later call the dawn of a new era for Los Santos. The world around me was really unfamiliar and alien, but I saw most of it last night, so it's not like it was much of a shock. I saw what looked like a banana, but it may have just been fucking garbage, so I got really pissed off and ran down an alleyway. Hunting and gathering wasn't an option. I found a cat, but it managed to evade my attacks, so I remained hungry. And I was desperate, and I was starving, and I was a little bit horny. So when I saw this big banana, what was I to do except get on? And if there's one common theme throughout all of this, well, I can't drive, I'm a chimp. So I did what any panicking chimp would do. I gripped the throttle really hard and went into the back of a car full speed. Now, I don't know if they let me out of that hospital. There was a lot of violence inside, and I don't know if that's how a hospital usually is, but the second I got out, I did what I did best, and I got driving again. which is never really a good idea. I was not a good driver. Well, if I'm being honest, I was a little terrible. I mean, in my defense, I am a monkey. But I drove a little bit, and then this guy, I guess he didn't like my driving. He pulled me out of the car, and it went black after that. I really can't remember anything. All things considered, it could have been worse. Second I got out of the hospital, I just jacked another car, as one does. And I didn't really know what to do. I was kind of alone. But you know what? I went down the street, and there were these really cool guys looking for some extra manpower called the Ballas. And the Ballas were not in a good spot. They were currently at war with the Vagos and I believe the families, and they were getting their asses kicked hardcore. And they were just short on manpower, on everything. So when a random bloodthirsty sentient chimpanzee comes along, you bet your bottom that they would take me in. And through a series of rather incredible events, I became the leader of the Ballas gang really quickly. With the gang now under my control, I began to wage a very unnecessary and extremely violent conflict against the other gang members that inhabited the area. It was, like, literally insane. Like, I was actually, like, not mentally there. I did a lot of fucked up shit. We robbed the Pacific Standard, and that was a bloodbath. We got away with it, though, but, like, a lot of us died in the process, so, you win some, you lose some. And I was really getting wrapped up in it all. I'll admit it, I went a little overboard. There's some things I did that I probably shouldn't have done. But, sometimes we all just kind of lose focus on what's important, and we do things we don't mean.
Firestorm of controversy rages on after the assault on the questions may continue for months. The official investigations
Some asked me if it was all worth it. All the lives, all the deaths. I really don't know. A lesson had to be learned. What? I don't know. But I'll say it again. I don't fucking know.